Good morning. Wow. My Lord, what a morning. My Lord, what a morning. My Lord, what a morning. When the stars begin to fall, you will hear the sinners wailing. There's a song they used to sing like that. That was wonderful. Kind of made your heart sing, even as this says, until your heart sings. But looking out over the Wasatch mountain range, it looks like snow on top of the mountains. Looking at my steaming hot cup of coffee, I don't know if my wife's going to see this, but this is hot coffee. It burns my lips. My wife has brought me coffee 3 days in a row, and all 3 days the coffee's cold. Now, I don't know how she's making coffee, but I gotta admit, 3 days in a row of cold coffee just doesn't quite cut it. Not sure what she's doing, but oh well. You know, I remember I used to go to a certain favorite cafe. Not Denny's, but at one time Denny's was the place to go, until they went through their, prejudicial thing and then their reorganization thing and then finally their bankruptcy and all the other things they've gone through. But it used to be you go to Denny's, you get a good cup of coffee. But if you went to some place, some cafes, they had, bun coffee. The bun, little coffee makers, that you see around, But they also had the coffee that went with it. And for some reason, man, you just couldn't beat that cup of coffee. Used to be, there was Dunkin' Donuts was like that. They used to have some really good coffee. Or even more than that, some other companies, they focused in on their coffee, and Starbucks kind of picked up on that later and figured out that people were into connoisseuring and, they wanted something that tasted good, so they made coffees to accommodate. But there's just something about the heat, Something about the warmth that flows from your mouth down your throat, all the way down your esophagus, into your belly, and seems to go all the way down into your guts and just give you a warm feeling inside. And the reason why I'm talking a lot about that is because this morning, as we see the rain is falling, as we see clouds on the horizon of our soul, as we know that today is a day that the wind is blowing, we realize that even though spring has come, showers must accompany our lives. There must be times of rain. There must be times of wind. There must be times of chill for us to grow. Because without that, really, are we Christians? Are we only, sunshine and lollipops, We're only a Shirley Temple kind of Christianity, where the only kind of way that we are happy with God is when we're happy. When we're sad, well, then we're not quite the same Christian, are we? Or when we're cold and not warm, or when we're wet and not dry. You see, there's got to be more to life than just simply lollipops and, happiness. More than just simply the power of positive thinking, because then you become kind of like one of those idiot salesmen, that no matter what you tell them, he's like, well, that's good. I got something good to tell you. Yeah, I buy a car, They'll sell you this idea that no matter what you tell them, they see it as good. They're just going to always go, good, 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 good. Not so good. The world is coming to an end. That's not so good. Now, if you're a Christian and you're walking with God and talking with God daily, that's a good thing. It could be that, you've done and finished the work. You've accomplished what God wanted you to. You're looking forward to His soon return. And, your loved ones are all witnessed to and saved, and you've done everything that you can to pray, and walk with God in an intimate and personal way. But I got news for you. There's a whole lot of the world going to hell. That's not good news. That's bad news. And the bad news is most people are going to hell. And that's not a good thing. That's a bad thing. And so I would love to be like, a radio station giving you the, positive and encouraging good news, but sometimes it's bad news. The bad news is if you don't choose to use the time wisely, the time will use you instead. So be careful how you approach your day today when there's trials and tribulations, because we know that the testing of your faith produces patience. But we have to let patience have its perfect work so that the man of God might be fully equipped unto every good work that God has intended for him. When you see things get in your face, don't act on them or react to them. Wait. Take time. Evaluate. One of the things that first responders are taught now, instead of immediately, jumping into the situation and dealing with it, is to look around, evaluate the situation. In other words, you don't start CPR on a person inside of a burning car. You get them out of the burning car because you're liable to get burned up or blown up. So you evaluate what's going on before you act. That's one of the new things that's been taught to first responders and second and third responders, is that after 9/11, the whole plan was once you responded, then another catastrophe happened and that caused even worse damage. So you have to be careful about how you act on days like today when obviously there's a storm coming in. Obviously the wind is blowing and the rain is falling, and because of that there's a chill in the air. You need to be mindful of those things and act accordingly. So today, as we are in Utah VidDevo, and as VidDevoChurch presents to you these devotions, at SonRise, until your heart sings, we want to think about faith. We want to think about having that ability to trust God in the midst of our trials. The big T word, trust. You see, faith is nice to say you got. Faith is nice to have, as it were, to hold it inside. Faith is something that, a lot of people claim they have, and faith is the substance, we're told, of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. But faith doesn't really do you much good unless there's an action to it. Trust is the emotional action of faith. If you trust in the Lord with all your heart, then you're exercising your faith. And we're told that the more you exercise your faith, the greater faith you'll get. Well, I like that, because then I have a confidence. And my confidence comes not from being and having faith, but what I do with my faith, which is trust in the Lord. So until your heart sings, I am beside you to bless and to help you. Waver not in your prayers, but rather listen. Be still. Know me. They shall be heard, and all your prayers are heard. All power is mine, and say that to yourself often and steadily when you find yourself in doubt. Rather, talk about what it is you fear. Say it until your heart sings with the joy of safety, and the power it brings comes unto you as I am with you. Say it until the very force of the utterance drives back and puts to naught all the evils that are against you. When you have an inner struggle, you don't have to use an outer profession, but rather you have to deal with yourself as the intercession of knowing God in a personal way. You have to talk to God and have God talk to you. Use it as a battle cry that all power is given unto my Lord, not unto me, but my Lord has the power, the glory, and the honor. All power is given unto my friend, meaning Jesus is going to be your strong tower, your covert in times of, as it were, rain and wind and cold and hail and snow. All power is given unto my Savior, and then you pass on to victory. If you trust in the Lord, knowing that the Lord will deliver you, then dare I say, the only thing you need to recognize today is the fact that God will deliver you. You may not be able to deliver yourself from the chill, from the cold, from the wind, from the rain. You can barely add 1 inch to, your hair, or 1 inch to your height. Or can you? You see, Jesus said, sufficient is the day today and the evil thereof. Because today is the day the Lord has made. But we can rejoice and be glad in it because God has brought it to us if we do, in fact, trust in the Lord with all our heart. So give him your day today. Let God lead you in the way, and before your coffee gets cold, have a sip or two. Get some of that warmth inside, and then go out and do what it is that God would have you to do today.